In B. Oh, because at least let me believe in my one Nigeria and you believe in what you want to believe in. Does that settle it? Good. Adewale Adegoke said, what did Tinubu say about GMB and Dapo Abiodun that Wike hasn't said here about Obaseki? For politicians, it's all about themselves and nothing about the people who they claim to went to serve. Are you on my or your app? Go and take the picture of Dugbe, the bad road of Dugbe that is causing traffic from Dugbe to Mokola. Put it on my or your app. Governor Shea Makinde will see it. I hope he will. Does Makinde still drive in the streets of Ibadan? Soon, our governors will buy flying cars to avoid the potholes that they create. When Governor Makinde goes to America, does he drive in potholes? I think the passport of all our political leaders should be seized, including Buhari's passport. Okay, Buhari can go for international meetings. We'll seize all the passport and we lock ourselves here like in Noah's Ark and we are sailing on the ocean. We die here. Seize their international passports. They go nowhere. All their international bring poverty. Shea Makinde was talking about Botswana when he came in. Botswana, maize, Botswana, maize. How far? How far, Mr. Governor? Buhari was traveling everywhere. Buhari has finished us with debt that my children will pay. How? Mr. President, why? Okay, they are building railways, right? We can't even travel in the railways anymore. Terrorists are waiting. Professor Francis Egbokhare is on State Affairs. Hello, Prof.
Good morning. This is quite a depressing note to start with.
But we shouldn't be depressed.
What's life? It's just the future of the young ones that bothers one.
Prof, we can correct it.
It's correctable if we all join hands together and we believe that we are willing to make the sacrifice. I think it's doable. It doesn't take 100 years to make a change. It just takes resolute individuals.
It seems knowledge is not power in this country. Because those who have acquired knowledge have become incapacitated. They can't make any difference.
Well, I think basically it's usually the nature of knowledge that we acquire. There seems to be a problem of poverty in the poverty of the mind as well. It's easy to see the poverty of the material poverty, but the worst kinds of poverty is the poverty of the mind that make individuals succumb to oppression, to repression, and that make them unwilling to address the critical issues that they believe ought to be done. People are just succumbing and people are aligning with the old paradigms that don't work. And until we break away from that, then nothing is really going to change. But the education process actually is an indoctrination process. It's actually not a liberating process. We are all, the younger ones, if you go through the educational system, you will observe that there's no way in which the current trajectory of the education system is going to liberate them. They are just going to conform and they will continue to perpetuate failure.
And we need to redefine that system.
It has to be redefined. But it takes active individuals, resolute individuals, unrelenting individuals, who will take over the platforms. Because you have to take a platform. You need a platform to make a political change. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we are still struggling to build a critical mass of individuals who will start with little platforms here and there and then form coalitions that will take Nigeria out of the problem that it is in.
If I see the plight of professors like you, I now just say, knowledge is no longer power. You can see the way the political leadership is dealing with professors like you. I'm asking, where is your power?
You see, there's still power. Maybe it's a latent power. But I think nobody can be oppressed who is unwilling to make himself a slave. But by the time you get educated to the level where I am, and you are called a professor, And then you yourself begin to align with elements who basically don't understand how the world runs. And you succumb to them, you submit to them, and you begin to apply their models. Then it means that there's something fundamentally wrong with your own education. And I think that's the big problem, is that the educated elite basically have failed Nigeria. But we need to create a new generation of educated elites. We need to ally with the few individuals who are available to form networks. We can't work apart. That's the point. You can't form a little island of your own. You have to find people of like minds. But those individuals must first of all give up the primitive acquisition. As long as your desire is to elevate yourself materially at the expense of the public, you are of no good to society.
And that's the dominant character. You see, everybody wants to grab. Yeah. Everybody wants to grab. You even employ somebody to work for you. The person wants to steal on the first day of the job.
Yeah, that's everywhere now. It's so difficult to see. And that's why I believe that we don't have an economic problem. The problem we have is an integrity problem.
A moral problem.
Yes, a moral problem. I have a little change left from my salary I want to invest. There are thousands of people like that, but you don't find the people you can trust with your funds to be able to provide a service and then give you a little bit of returns. So our problem basically that we have to solve is the integrity problem. Once we get over the integrity problem, we solve the political problem.
Are you on my Oyo app? Go on Google Play Store, search for my Oyo Citizens app, download it. You'll find a story on my Oyo Citizens app that reads, Makinde visits Israel. Signs agribusiness deal with University of Jerusalem. You know, we always hear this sign, yet no food. Makinde has gone to sign. When Awolowo went in the 1950s to Israel,
we saw the effects.
Yeah. The farm settlements.
I actually have a feeling that these people go there for tourism. I have been to Israel. I've been to the University of Jerusalem. I've been to technically you go there. The first thing is that if you are a rational human being, you are depressed because you see what people are able to do with little or nothing. And they tell you all kinds of stories when God told Israelites that Israel is a land flowing with milk and honey, and they go there and they discover it's a desert. And they were wondering what kind of thing is God talking about. But the milk and honey, they were supposed to make it out of the land. It's an issue of human capacity. That beings are the ones who will make the milk and honey flow from the land. So, and they come back here with a lot of legacy thinking. You see, you have to look at your context. You have to have the brain power and capacity to understand your context. The context of development in Oyo, if you apply the Lagos model, Oyo will not work. And you see, Oyo, for instance, is a retail economy. Even globally, if you look at it, you discover that 20 years ago, the Oyo state economy, Ibadan economy, was already a retail one. If you can't afford the tuber of yam, they will sell you a slice. Now that retail business is what we are projecting today. And then even the Esusu business that we talk about, that entrenched in our cultures, that's what that has been modified into crowdsourcing. It's collective financing. So if you look at the road designs, it does not accommodate the mentalities, the culture, the historical economic evolution of the people. When economic development is not inserted in the cultural realities of the people, all you are doing basically is creating glass and bricks, and nothing really transforms.
You know, since I came to Oyo State, I have not seen a governor that took interest in research. Because I also believe Ibadan is a research economy.
It is. I agree. Do you know how many institutions there are in this place? And to think that these institutions, they are only interested in the taxes, taxing the institutions. You see, I think we are basically running what I would call I don't know how to put it. Is that even when people say they are educated, you don't see the evidence of the education in the way they apply governance.
You know, I decided to visit most of the research institute just for personal reasons. And I visited about 10. I went back. I said, if I was governor, I would make billions from R&D.
Certainly. Actually, that is the issue. That's where Ibadan Oyo should stand out.
It's a knowledge economy.
It's a knowledge economy. But the guys who are in charge, do they have the sophistication to understand how to transform into a knowledge economy? And that is where we are today.
You know, I look at Agbowo and Environ, and I look at UI.
Yes, it's a contradiction.
It's a contradiction.
Yes, it's a contradiction.
Then I went to look at the picture of Oxford University.
Yes.
If Oxford University is Oxford Town.
You know, Agbowo is an indictment on UI. It's a big indictment. In fact, it shows the lack of vision. But unfortunately, not much has changed in terms of leadership vision. Or that's just the unfortunate thing. It has not changed. And what you see people talking about, in America, in so-so, no. Let us begin to demonstrate, have a demonstration effect. Because a university should be a community that works. A community from where people take their cue about how a society should be organized.
Agbowo complex in front of UI tells you the condition of UI.
Precisely.
For that complex to be abandoned by any state at any time shows the poor leadership that has arrested the development of Nigeria.
Yes. You know, for you to think, for instance, that a university like Ibadan has the highest per capita borehole in Nigeria. It has more in the whole world. In fact, that there are more boreholes than anywhere else. You know, and in an institution like that, where we know the risks that are involved, and the mortality, tree mortality is another issue that you have to deal with. So there's a lot of contradiction between knowledge and the practice, and until we bridge it, we are not going to be able to move forward.
You know, yesterday after Splash FM lecture, I just parked the car. I was working in the quarters, UI quarters. Yes. 3 weeks ago, I did that with IITA quarters.
Yes. Can you imagine? Do you know the funny thing about IITA? You see how well manicured it is. But do you know the company that is doing the manicuring? It's the same UI Ventures. Are you not shocked?
I am.
But compare. So something is happening. There is a human problem. It is not the ability to do things, and it's a leadership problem. Go and look at the tennis court in UI. Look at the tennis court in IITA. You will ask yourself, so it means we can actually construct a goal. So what is happening? Look, I am afraid that one day some young men will come and line people up and do what I don't want to say what they are going to do. What we are saying is a high sense of elite responsibility.
Tinubu is using Lagos to campaign. You know, when I went to Dubai, I was driving everywhere with my wife, and I went with cameras. I went to old Dubai. Yeah. So when I hear Tinubu campaigning with Lagos, I get angry. I know what I saw in Dubai. By 1960, when Dubai was a desert, Nigeria was more developed.
Yes, we even gave them some money. We gave them some money. Dubai had a problem. But it shows you that the fundamental problem of our country is a problem of leadership. You see, one problem basically is that those who can do things are never allowed to rise to the top.
Why can't they? Must they be allowed?
Well, what it takes, that's what I'm saying, but what it takes, you just have to, power is never surrendered. You will take power by force. I'm not talking about force of arms, but we're talking about organizing to take power and then use. But the problem basically is what is called the prima experiment. When you make the slave the master, he turns around to make slaves of other people. So you want to, that's why I am always talking about a trajectory of performance based on ideology and vision. If you don't find an individual who has a history of doing the right things over a period of time with a focus on what should be done, it is always impossible. When the pressures of office come, assails the individual, you see that the capital.
Now, let's begin to talk politics, Prof. Anyway, we've been talking about politics. Education is politics. Health is politics. Nasir El-Rufai is the author of the book Accidental Public Servant. When the market. I read the book. And he talked about Atiku Abubakar in the book. Now, Nasir El-Rufai talks about Atiku Abubakar. Let's reflect on the Abubakar that wants to be president. Is Atiku Abubakar corrupt? And when you got to government, you met many bullies, right?
Yes, there are bullies all around the world. You may not see them as bullies, but anytime someone wants to use power over you, whether it is physical or psychological power, some advantage against a person, he's a bully. And the way I approach such people or such institutions is to assume that they are Sunday personified and respond appropriately.
Was Atiku a bully?
I wouldn't say so. Atiku just wanted contracts for his friends. That is his only big flaw. And he thought that as a politician, he had the right to do that. Most of the conflicts I had with Atiku had to do with his disregard for process if he wanted contracts for his friends.
Probably you taught Atiku a lesson in this book, like you taught Sunday a lesson.
I don't know. I think you have to ask Atiku. I responded the best way I could. I believe that public service is about solving public problems, not promoting personal interest. And whenever I have conflicts with people, it is because of this intersection. People get into public positions and they begin to think that they're there to promote personal interest or whatever pleases them. Sometimes it's not even personal interest, it's just whatever pleases them. It's a case of power unchecked. And I am always conscious of the need to do things that advance public interest. Even when I help my friend, it has to be in the furtherance of public interest. And I never lost sight of that throughout my years in government.
Why going through your book, at a point I would say, will Rufai stop mentioning Atiku here? It's like this book is a sting attack against Atiku Abubakar.
No. The book is not a sting attack against anybody, actually. But the fact of the matter is, throughout my years in government, I interacted very, very much with Atiku Abubakar. First, in my 4 years in the BP, he was my direct boss. I was reporting to him on a daily basis, so he would be a major part of the book. In my time as Minister of FCT, he was the Vice President, so he had to feature. If you look at the book, you'll probably find that the two people that I mentioned the most are Atiku Abubakar and President Obasanjo. But those were my bosses. I interacted with them. I did most of the things I did them or around them, so they would feature. It's not an attack on anybody.
Let me take you through this on page 331 of your book. Though we still had no confirmation, we had access to a document prepared by the African Department of the UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office dated the 22nd of June 2005, which suggested that Obasanjo might of handing over to Atiku his deeply corrupt vice president.
Those were the words of the UK Foreign Office. I have the report. I will post it on the book website. They are not my words.
And you even suggested that as you go, that Atiku was corrupt.
I made no suggestions. I've tried my best not to be judgmental in this book, but to give instances and facts for which people draw their judgment.
And there you talked about Ibrahim Mantu and Jonathan Zungina. They needed 54 million naira to confirm you as a minister.
Yes.
When you could not get that money, you decided to go speak with Atiku Abubakar.
I did not. I don't think you read the book correctly. You said when you did not get this
or
money.
When you refused.
Precisely.
When you refused.
When I refused, I reported to my boss, President Obasanjo, who asked me to inform Atiku Abubakar. That is what happened. Don't change the words.
And Atiku decided to give 50 million?
I think you should ask Atiku that. I have related what I knew happened in the book, but that question is for Atiku Abubakar.
And Atiku told you that the 50 million was a standing payment for electioneering. Did you believe him?
That is immaterial. I have tried to describe what happened in the book, to draw his opinion. I have tried, as the author of this book, to present a series of events and facts. And I want Nigerians to read the book and draw their conclusions.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
That interview was before El-Rufai became the governor of Kaduna State. He wrote a book and he gives an analysis of Atiku Abubakar. What can you take away from that interview?
Well, I think if that interview is something to go by, it means that Atiku is not a fit and proper person to be. That's basically the. Except otherwise, if El-Rufai comes to make different statements again about what he said and tries to, but Atiku has a burden. He has a big burden of integrity that he has to. I don't know how he's going to discharge it. And basically, even more than that, is the fact that he appears to be politically unstable. He moves from one political party to the other. There's this ambition to be president that appears to be. We've seen it before. There's some certain level of desperation to become a president, and we've seen the consequences of such desperation. Even within this period, I cannot associate him with an ideology, with a certain ideology of state, to say this is my vision for Nigeria. So my fear is that we are going to end up again with an ad hoc management of Nigerian affairs by wandering around every day, day by day governors, daily pay governors are reacting to things and so on. So I don't know what El-Rufai thinks about him today, but I was shocked recently when I heard Obasanjo saying he has forgiven Atiku at Lagos Island, and that Atiku has learned his lesson. I said, at the age of how many years do you learn your lesson? Can you teach a horse, an old horse, new tricks? These are some of the critical issues about the unstable personality of Nigerians up to the top, where people change their minds, and then so you begin to wonder, so what has happened that made the President Obasanjo come to that conclusion that the man is born again?
Recently he said that he regrets choosing him as a running mate was one of his big regrets.
Yes.
Now let's listen to this short one of Obasanjo talk about Atiku.
I have no personal issue with Atiku, but if I then, with what I know about Atiku, which you can read in my book.
Okay, read the book. Are you a member of his family?
With what I know about Atiku, if I have put Atiku forward, God will not have forgiven me.
Okay.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
It's your BBC Minute.
With Eric and Benita.
Let's start in Japan, where the body of the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has been taken to Tokyo.
He was assassinated on Friday while speaking at a political campaign rally.
Sri Lanka next.
Huge crowds are gathering in the capital, Colombo, to demand the resignation of its president.
Thousands of troops and police officers
have... The 2018 figures of the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's unemployment rate is
The attacker was holding a crowd hostage. He's been shot.
Now, he may be the world's richest man,
but Elon Musk says he's keeping his $44 million. For now, he's abandoned his deal to buy Twitter. It's over the number of spam bot accounts.
From the 2018 figures of the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's unemployment rate is 23.1%. It is suspected that the yet-to-be-released 2019 figures have reached 40%. The failure of the Bureau to release the 2019 quarterly reports on job creation and unemployment gives vent to this suspicion. As these ones engage in desperate measures to survive, they wonder why they are the casualties of leadership failure in Nigeria.
Government should provide job. There's nothing we want except that when you have job, you do. You will have money to spend.
Because there's no job outside there. We don't have job. Many of us went to school and school went through us.
They are used by politicians for election purposes. Some of them are doomed to, when victory is won, left to continue their street activities. Some are in prison.
ìdìbò ni ẹ máa wo gbára mi ẹ máa wo ìdìbò ni ó gbára mi rí ìdìbò lélẹ́yìí inú ìdìbò ni òòrè ẹ máa yá inú ìdìbò ni ẹ wo
When the time of elections comes, the politician will come over, they will come here, they will talk to these people, they will use them. After the election, they will not do anything for them. And now, you can see them stacking around here. What are they doing? Smoking Indian herbs. And the teacher normally came here when it's time of election. They will promise people that they will do this and that. They promise many ladies here that they will open their shop for them. They promise them that they will give them money to establish their business. But immediately they get to the power, we don't see any traces of their promise.
Governor himself knows that people were smoking all around, but they will only make use of them. That was when they were in need of them. After making use of them with all the promises, and they won't fulfill.
Gbogbo ẹrù díẹ̀ ló tà ló fi sọ gómìnà láta inú bò bó ṣe àgọ́ nísìnyí bó ṣe ó dìbò gómìnà ó di ti state honourable ó di ti federal sọ́ọ̀tù ló ti manage ó sì ti wọ́n sọ́ọ̀tù àwọn alábàáwọ̀ indomie.
There are smiling faces in Koronu. Mama Gold is one of them. She runs a bar on the street.
Mama Gold, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Yes, you sell here.
Yeah.
What do you sell?
Wine, beer, everything's okay. Everything's fine.
These young boys, do they have jobs?
Yeah, they have jobs.
Okay.
My brother Glo.
Okay. Okay.
They're working the quarry.
And you're also making money here?
Yeah. Mama Gold.
Mama Gold. Koronu Axis suffers from failing infrastructure. There is a bridge of death hanging over their heads.
Everywhere was set when I was growing up. I used to stay at Olomi. I attended St. John's Primary School, Catholic Primary School Academy. So when coming from school, this is where we fly as little children. We use this pedestrian to avoid vehicular movement. So with the little children, we use this route to get to our houses. But now everything is gone.
Wow, this is dangerous.
In case there is any mishap, anything at all,
the car falls off.
Or just fall off on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. No railing, nothing, no barricade.
On this bridge without railings, people can fall and die. Cars and the people in them do not matter. Anyway, if government cannot provide protective barriers for the bridge, at least they can help themselves with a staircase to peep at the danger hanging over them.
This was consulted by Olorun Kemi Youth Forum.
They did
it by themselves, not by government.
Not by government. Government has no contribution in this.
So before now, what was the route to this?
People were dumping.
The World Bank, in its 2019 Nigeria Economic Update Report released on the 2nd of December 2019, says that the number of Nigerians living in extreme poverty may increase by more than 30 million by 2030. The bank predicts that Nigeria will be home to 25% of the world's destitute people if government fails to create jobs.
If government give us jobs, you can't see any people here. If you come here on Monday, you will meet people. Come on Tuesday, you will see people. If you come here, you will see people.
There is a movie script writer in the Axis. He says his talent is not in doubt. Times are hard, but they lessen the stress by refreshing themselves with table tennis. They are hopeful. They know police will come. When police come,
if I take you to Shea Makinde now, what will you tell him?
I will tell him he should provide job for us.
You want to work?
We work. Excuse me. If police come here now, we have the ability to run. That means we have the ability to work.
Yes. So if police come now, do you run?
We run.
So police do come sometimes?
Police do come sometimes, but we will run. We have the ability to run. We will move. that police may not take some of us, they may take some, but we have the ability to run. But we don't see the job that we do. We have the ability to do something. It's in us.
The street and its dangers provide succor for them. They seek inspiration, yet suffer from the desperation to survive.
We came here to see what the youths are doing. The ones we met spend their time smoking, no work to do. They ask for work. As things stand now, if we don't cater for them, who knows what they will do? Remember, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. A word is enough for the wise.
It is a generation of people seeking for comfort. They vote hoping for the best. They engage in many jobs that keep them going. However, it is not just about employment, but productive employment to raise living.
And the program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. My guests are Professor Francis Egbokhare of the University of Ibadan, and Chief Wale Ohu has just joined us. Chief Ohu, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Nice being here, Edmund. Quite some time.
How is politics faring?
Good as usual.
Is the APC ready for this?
Fantastic, we are ready.
Shey Makinde is formidable.
I'm sure Shey Makinde is gone.
Fulani should be afraid.
Fulani is in. He's the next governor for your state.
The next governor?
Yes.
He told me to take it to the bank, and he hasn't told me the bank to take it to. Let's listen to Fulani, and Chief Ohu will tell us more. The APC, what we have seen, the AP will win the 2023 presidential election and win Oyo State. That is your prediction.
You can take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. We'll win.
That Fulani is the next governor of Oyo State.
Inshallah.
I should take that to the bank.
Take that to the bank. Look, like I said, we're reconciling ourselves now. I would like to speak to you again on this issue, say in October, and I'll tell you for sure which bank you will take it to. Not just to the bank. We'll win. We'll win. We're ready.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Chief Ohu, what is Fulani saying? You know the way he sounds. Take it to the bank. You know the bank?
Yeah. Bank of Assurance. Assurance that the fact that APC will take over your state come May 29, 2023. Assurances of the fact that we're well prepared. It's not just a day's game. It's a game of time. The last 3 years plus, we've been able to recoup and position ourselves in such a manner with the focus and vision that we're taking over your state in 2023. With the vision and the focus that we're providing alternatives of the way it should be done and done better. With the assurances of the fact that we know that politics or civilian governance is in two sides. You have the service delivery side, you have the politicking side. So it's a 50-50 thing. You must be good on the 50% of the politicking and the 50% of the service delivery. It's the combination of the two that makes you excel. So we are doing well in trying to make sure that we'll put ourselves together politically, and at the same time we're trying to create alternatives to what the present government is giving now. And we should be rolling out soonest. We're going to put every sphere of governance into consideration: education, health, commerce, industry, the public service itself. We'll put everything together and create alternatives to each of the approach to this.
You know, Chief Ohu, I'm patiently waiting for the Fulani plan.
Yes.
I want to see the plan Fulani has for transportation. You know, nothing frustrates me like the rowdy transport system in Ibadan.
It is an adversarial arrangement. We are not all proud of this. We could say it. Now, the fact remains that if you think you're trying to create a populist program, you end up creating an adversarial society. The fact remains that leadership, again in governance, is about taking the people to where they ought to be, not the people telling you where they want to be. It's unfortunate that the president of your state government is running the state in a manner where the people want to be, not where the people ought to be. So the difference is there. So it's the leadership, governance. It's about the fact of creating the path to taking the people to where they're supposed to be. So that's the kind of problem you now have in the state, where we have oversight arrangement in transportation, in traffic, in everywhere. Everywhere it's just a shadow of itself. We were in this state some 5 years ago when APC was in government. You can put it side by side and see the orderliness and the arrangement.
Orderliness, Chief
and the arrangement, yeah.
No, under Ajimobi there was disorderliness too.
In what sense? In what manner?
Ajimobi came with traffic lights that he could not maintain. They all perished within 1 or 2 years.
Listen to me.
I'm listening, sir.
The fact remains that for the fact that he put traffic light and it does not work, you now have to go and look at what were the things in it. Hold it. In everything that you do in this country, I've always said it, there's the Nigerian factor in everything. It's unfortunate. Each of those traffic lights, I can remember, you put it in 2-3 weeks, it's gone. People go there, tamper with, prefer, and do whatever.
So now me.
No, we're not blaming you. So nobody will blame you. The fact remains that we'll blame the society that's supposed to be the beneficiaries of this.
What is the essence of leadership?
So that's what I'm saying. Now, what we now try to do as regards that is the fact that you must bring another facet of the way you want to handle the people in such a manner that you just have to whip them into line.
And that's for line.
So that's the situation. And that's what we're bringing. So we have a combination of sorts that I don't want to start rolling out now. By October, we'll be, by September, October, we're out for campaign. I'll be here. I'll read out everything for you. It's now the cooking stage. We have, what we are trying to do is this. We have blueprints.
You are cooking. I'm not smelling the aroma.
You can't because we are not yet bringing it out.
I mean, it's not boiling yet.
INEC has not given us that opportunity.
But I should be smelling the aroma.
Opportunity of bringing it out. That's one of the reasons I'm here. So you ask, I'll tell you 1 or 2 things.
Professor Egbokhare, Folani said I should take it to the bank. I am not going to any bank yet until I see the Folani plan.
I agree with you. You know, Said Oshba says Ariwo Koni music. It's not, we want to see exactly the plan. We have heard things like this before. Our state, unfortunately, is in progressive degeneracy.
What did you say?
Progressive degeneracy.
Please define it.
It appears as if we are continuously achieving new milestones in degeneracy.
Oh.
Just
progressive decay.
Decay, yes. And in every...
Can decay be progressive?
It is progressive. I used to think that... it's an oxymoron. Mm-hmm. It's an oxymoron. I used to think that we had hit the bottom of, but until I realized that hell is a bottomless pit. So there is still an opportunity to get worse. Now look at the whole issue of even the refuse. And you go on the express and you see exactly as if we have given up on refuse.
No, she has given up.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then you talked about the transportation system. Now, what we want to see is not for Larry to simply we are going to do this and then blow grammar without this. We want to see exactly how are you going to solve the problem. What are your benchmarks? What are your timelines? What is going to change? What should we hold you responsible for? It's not a case of sharing money, because this whole business basically about politics is that once money has been shared and certain individuals have been settled, it looks as if the rest of the society can go to hell. Some of us are going to wait. We will analyze your program and we will tell people in the languages that they will understand that this is this or that is doable or not doable. So it's important for us to all be part of the new movement. I think it's time for us to say enough is enough.
But we've been saying enough is enough, Professor Egbokhare.
No, we haven't. We haven't, because if you say enough is enough, then you go to a voting booth and you collect money to vote. then you were basically negotiating with the politicians. It gets to the point where you say, look, acceptable to me. We need to see change happening.
You see, there's one thing I want you to understand, Edmund. That's a dominant problem we have in this state today. And it dovetails to every area of the economy. And what is it? You see, it's a general problem in the country. That is the lack of employment. What the government is supposed to do in any geographical expression is for you to, as it is in Nigeria today, is to get the people out of unemployment. You see the category of the people creating problems either in the transportation, in haversack arrangement in the society, are the youths. They're either on Okada, they're either on they're either on Okada, doing area boys about the street and whatever. And the government there looks at them every day and just allow the thing to go on like this. What we intend to do in the APC is to first of all create employment within the state. And how do you want to go about that? The fact remains that, like we keep on telling people, what makes Lagos to thick today? Do you know? Is the presence of water.
What is thick?
Yeah, it's water. It's presence of water.
Okay.
It's presence of water that makes Lagos stick today, because you realize that everything that wants to come from overseas will come through Lagos. Mm-hmm. And it is normal for you, if you, from the economic aspect, when you bring your machinery, the best thing is just to place it in Lagos and produce in Lagos. So it creates the concentration of industries in Lagos. In Oyo State, what makes Oyo State stick is the professionalist land. We have over enough land. Are you getting me now? Agricultural lands that are fertile. You need to do, first of all, is to create you create something out of that land. And what is it? It's about agriculture. This agriculture now, the first we want to do in that, we're going to have agricultural complexes in each of the senatorial districts.
The one she is already building.
I've not seen any. About the actual agricultural complexes we're talking about is that there will be those that will be involved in the arable land, they will be tilting the land. There will be those that will be involved in the agricultural technology. Then they are going to be those ones that are going to be involved in processing of the crops. You get me now? Choose some semi-finished goods that will add value. We add value to what is being produced. By the time, hold it. By the time you have this in all the senatorial district of the state, are you getting me now? Each of these agricultural complexes would successfully employ thousands of youths.
What is the duration? It will take time to build.
It would.
Sheyi Makinde came with the same plan.
It doesn't have that plan.
Chief, we'll look at this. The Oyo State Governor, Sheyi Makinde, has signed an agreement of cooperation with the HIP Jerusalem.
At the third year.
No, he has been signing
when he has 10 months to go. It's not serious about it. I'm telling you.
Have you gone to Fashola?
The first Fashola, nothing is there. The first day Sheyi came into government, the first thing he said was that he was going to start importing maize to, what was that country?
Botswana.
And he said he was going to import. Is there any sense in that thing? Now, what we are trying to do in our own case is this. As of today, we are already relating with those expatriates we are going to bring in here to manage those industrial complexes. We are not talking of just not farm settlements.
So you want to bring in expatriates?
No. I said we are already talking with those expatriates that are giving us the blueprint of what those areas will look like.
Do we need expatriates?
No. I'm not saying we are going to use expatriates in those places.
But we can still use them if we want to.
No. We are not going to use them. What we are going to do is this. We're talking with them. No doubt about that. If there are countries in the world that are much more advanced agriculturally. No, so you must borrow some senses from them. That's what we're talking about. Now we'll compare them with our own people here. We have those who are technically sound, who are agriculturists. They are in the universities all over the place. They have their own ideas.
Give us the plan.
Now that's what I'm saying.
Tell Senator Folani that Edmund Obilo is waiting for the Folani plan. I can't wait anymore. So we'll begin to break down the data.
Yes, we're going to give you details of everything in just a few months.
I can't wait.
Now by September, we're coming out for campaign. We'll be rolling out. We can't roll out all that now. No, so you take
roll it out.
What I'm trying to tell you is that now the agri complexes we're talking about, it's not agri centers. It's not agri farm settlements.
You know, Ajimobi came with this same agri story.
It's every government. Your state has talked about this since I came to Ibadan since 1985. And what we're getting, people are left to themselves with little support. here. There's virtually no support to farmers here.
We are not talking about farmers. You get what I'm telling you directly. We are talking of agri-complexes.
That's the point.
Not agri-business.
Because it's agribusiness.
Not farm settlement. Listen to me. Not farm settlements. You're going to have a center. It's a community on its own. You get me? In every senatorial district. This community, we have arable lands for people that will tilt the land.
Mm-hmm.
These centers will have industrial complexes that will semi-process those goods there.
Mm-hmm.
These complexes they have industries. You get me? That will turn some of those products into finished goods. So it's a center. So in it you have the arable land for those that will crop.
Mm-hmm.
You have those that will be involved in processing, semi-processed. You have those that will turn it to finished products. So that's going to be industry there. That's going to be arable land there. There's going to be semi-processing centers there. Now, come to think of it, when you have that, and you make sure that every of the program you have in the state, be it health, be it education, be it whatever, it is dovetailed towards improving the local communities.
Okay.
You get that? So
we intervene now?
Your roads to the hinterlands, where these states will come from, it must be improved.
Can we intervene?
Yeah,
now?
you can.
Professor Egbokhare,
yes.
You were making comments about every government on agri.
Yes, you see, but the same farm settlements, because what you are saying basically is the difference between guguru and popcorn. You are just using popcorn in place of guguru. That's what you're doing.
And popcorn is softer.
Yes.
Yes. So if you say popcorn, popcorn and what? And what do you say?
Guguru.
Then it's not the same thing. So the fact remains that what farm settlements. I'm not talking about farm settlements.
I think
if you look at the complex I'm talking about, it's a combination of.
I've heard from engineer Sheyi Makinde, the governor.
Sheyi Makinde has never come with this idea.
Wait. Let's look at it. You are talking about there is even no sustainability element. You have not told us, for instance, that you have approached your higher education institutions. You have your polytechnics.
That's a different thing.
No. Because how are those things going to work? Are you going to import the labor? Are you going to import the intellect?
Very good.
The knowledge system.
Thank you.
And that's why this is don't work. Because what we do basically is that we take things outside and we insert it in an artificial environment. Meanwhile, if we integrate this into the educational system, the production system, the culturally sustainable production systems of the people, they will work. Because you will discover that everything is interconnected. But we are just extracting. The negative effect of legacy thinking. You go to China, you bring Chinese and bring all kinds of this, and you find that in 2-3 years, the factory is there, nothing is producing anything.
Prof, take time to listen to me adequately well. As of today, you have thousands of jobless citizens of our state who are young, who ranges between school certificate, diplomas, and university degrees. They're there, doing nothing. You get me now? These are the people we are bringing in to that complex. Each of these people, you look at the area, it's either they are on the arable land, driving equipment, using equipment for cultivation. It's either they are involved in the semi-processing industries where they can work, or it's either they are technically sound to work in the industries we're talking about.
Okay.
All in the complex.
I want to come in now.
So I'm coming. At the end of the day, you see that all spheres of the jobless people, be it educated, be it artisans.
I'm going to give you the Sheyi Makinde agri-business plan. I will give you that document.
Yeah.
What you are saying now is in that plan. I have studied that plan.
I have not seen. Listen.
I will send it to, if Folani does not have it, I will send it to him. If you see the plan, the
then if he has the plan, why has he not done it in 3 years?
That's the question.
Why has he not done it in 3 years? Beautiful. Plenty of grammar, no action.
I'm coming. Why has he not done it in 3 years?
Yes, that's the question.
So no, I'm coming. If he has it,
yes,
are you getting me, on document, and he has done it in 3 years, then it's not there. But I'm telling you now that look, I, as a person, I've gotten some of these ideas and blueprints for over the years that we've been working upon and tuning. And I can tell you, if you want me to start dropping names, I'll tell you who and who will be involved.
You see,
on plan
Chief
already.
Ohu, give us the plan.
Yeah.
When we see the plan, we do a comparative analysis.
No doubt about that.
I have the Sheyi Makinde plan.
It's entirely different from what Sheyi Makinde has got.
We've been having these plans, blueprints, white prints, yellow prints, for a long time. We want to see.
But somebody will actualize
We want to see things really transform.
That is what APC is coming to do.
You
They're
know,
coming to actualize that. You will have gotten it over the years. You will have gotten it in the last 3 years, which Seyi Makinde has not been able to do, which Seyi Makinde has not implemented.
Which Ajimobi did not do.
No. What Ajimobi promised, if you want us to estray Ajimobi's government, it's a different ball game entirely.
It's APC.
No, it's a brilliant ball game entirely compared to what Seyi Makinde is having now.
Okay.
We'll be back. You were talking about transportation. Was this how the city was in an adversarial arrangement when Ajimobi was there?
Prof calls it progressive decay.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It might move to the lowest
I'm coming. If Prof calls it progressive decay, the implication is that it's comparing Ajimobi's government with Seyi Makinde's government. That is, Ajimobi's government must have been at a better pedestal, which Seyi Makinde has no stand. We are coming back. Listen to me. We are coming back because the APC government, we are coming back to take it back to where it's supposed to be. That's why I told you there's difference between where the people want to be and where the people ought to be. We are taking the people to where they ought to be.
Seyi Makinde is out. Wale Ohu speaks.
No doubt about that.
All right. Chief Wale Ohu is on State Affairs. I also have Professor Francis Egbokhare. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo.
Splash FM 105.5.
Hello, Ibadan. Something big is happening this July. It's the VHF World Conference. The Vessels of Honor Foundation is celebrating its 25th anniversary with a life-changing feast of the Word of God.
I have come to Makbo to sing a new song. I have come to Makbo to remind myself of the journey ahead. I hold on to the pillars of Makbo. I can feel the heartbeat of the past. Can you hear it? You can see the pillars. It talks about the strength. This is Makbo. From Makbo, you can see the beauty of the land.
From Makbo, you can see the rusty roofs of the town. This Ibadan. Makbo reminds me of the strengths of the warriors of the past. Makbo reminds me of the victories of the past. But Makbo tells the story of the future. It reminds us of the work ahead. It reminds us of the duty to redeem the land. I have come to dance to the victories of the past. I have no fear. I'm in Makbo. The warriors are here.
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo.
Let's go on my Oyo app. My Oyo is about Oyo. It is my app, your app. Once you are in that app, you see Edmund Obilo welcomes you to my Oyo. It is not a government app. It's our app. So go on Google Play Store, download my Oyo Citizens app. If you are interested in development and governance in Oyo State, we have created an app for you. And if you want to follow the activities of government, you will find it on the app. There is a section for government. So if you want to know what government is doing in the state, you click. Now I am on the people part of the app. Somebody is saying here, poor condition of Iwo Road, Lalukpon Road. Please, the poor condition of Iwo Road, Lalukpon Road is pathetic right from Academy to Lalukpon. We are tired of promise by government that it will be repaired. I don't know when that will happen. So this person, Olushino, is calling for action. So he comes to my Oyo app to complain. This message is on my Oyo app. Greetings to you. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to air our views and complaints on my Oyo app. I would like to bring to your notice the poor state of the road along Akpete, Arola, Aribi. Okay. Kindly help look into this as it has made life unbearable for the people. This rainy season though, I think during rainy season, government should be more active on the roads, but I don't see that. About 4 weeks ago, I talked about Abba Ife housing after Atere and Oshilaja along Ashunle, Odwono Elewi, no light. You know, sometimes I'm even constrained. Even those of us living in the GREs, we don't have light. I called on IBEDC some weeks ago. One of the managers called me that they are working on the Ashunle issue. Please, IBEDC, give them transformer. How can a community in a city don't have transformer? How? And you have many communities like that. You see, our leadership should be ashamed of themselves. Our leaders, they should be ashamed of themselves. I call on Nigeria seizing the passports of all political leaders. Enough of the troubles. Let us die here. You are sick, let us go to UCH. Nobody goes out. I think it's time we did that. Is that reality? Abba Ife housing after Atere and Oshilaja. Along Ashule, Oduono Elewe, they need transformer, IBEDC, action. Some weeks ago, I talked about Olusoji. Hear me? Has that road been fixed? Nothing. Olusoji, one narrow road, run by 2 local governments, Ibadan Southwest and Ido local government. Ibadan Southwest will fill the pothole and Ido will do nothing. Ido local government go and fix Olusoji. Those living in Elebun, they use that road. Those living in Akala use that road to connect to Luyole Estate, Akpata, fix it. How many? It's not even up to 2 kilometers. Just go and patch the road. And Professor Egbokhare, this road I'm talking about, towards the twilight of Abiola Ajimobi's government, he hurriedly gave out the contract of Olusoji. They constructed it in about 2 weeks. Professor Egbokhare, in 4 weeks, the road packed up.
As a contract for election.
After election, I think it's what money for the boys.
Yes, now.
No, you can't justify that.
Huh?
You can't justify that.
You can't justify that. Is that not what they do? Money for the boys?
Don't say that.
Okay, what should I say?
If I'm here, you don't say that.
Okay, what should I say?
Who are the boys? We are politicians. We give the jobs out. So the fact remains that you need to get to the bottom of what actually happened. You say it was at the transition period that the job was awarded. So there's one thing about civil servants. Public servants, you don't know that it's an albatross to we who are political practitioners. When you government and they see you at the twilight of your administration, you can be sure that nobody takes the instruction from you. Super comes zero, commitments come zero, and everything is done at their own level. So that is one of the Nigerianness I tell people. The Nigerian factor. You know, Folani's house is on that road. Yes, I know that road you're talking about. Yeah. That's one of the problems we have in Nigeria. I've said it, problem is both in the leadership and followership. But each time you talk about the leadership, you talk about the public servant, the civil servants, they come together with the political office holders to deliver, the service to the people.
Let me listen to this young Nigerian who is hanging out with me in the studio. Mojimorire Adesho, good to have you on State Affairs.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fine, sir.
I met you on Twitter.
Yes.
You said you want a book.
Yes, some books, not one.
But you asked for I was going to give you a book.
Yes.
And you now ask for more.
Yes.
You are Oliver. How is Twitter?
Fine, sir.
You enjoy Twitter a lot?
I do Twitter most time.
So what do you do on Twitter?
Majorly, the social media I'm addicted is Twitter.
Addicted?
Yes.
What do you do with it?
I love to read comments. I love to read news. I love to listen to good people, beautiful people around.
You don't like ugly people?
No. That is my son name, Ade Esho. Ade the crown, Esho the beauty. So I move with beautiful people, emotionally, beautiful people in the mind. Beautiful minds, beautiful. That's what I do. I don't go to other social media aside Twitter.
Why do you want books?
I actually love to read a lot of books. I read a lot, majorly, to learn diverse things.
You asked for Black Man's Dilemma.
Yes.
I could not get a copy for you, Black Man's Dilemma.
Okay.
But I will still give you a copy. For now, I'm giving you this book, Soldiers of Fortune.
Okay, sir.
You know why I chose this book for you?
Okay.
Go and trace where the problem started from.
Okay.
Military and governance. And look at the Nigerian situation. Then I will find Black Man's Dilemma for you.
No problem,
this is your book.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate. And before I go, there's something I want to talk about.
Okay.
I listened to Chief Ohu just now, talking about what Nigeria wants. But I want to correct that notion, what Nigeria needs. We don't want anything. We only need good governance.
Is that not semantics? Want, need.
No.
I want money. I need money.
There are two different things.
All right.
You might want something, and you might not be able to afford that thing.
Okay.
But when you need something, it is essential.
So you need good governance.
We need.
It's a must.
It is a must.
It's not negotiable.
It is not negotiable.
What are you using your Twitter account to do with regard to that?
Most of the things I use my Twitter account to do is to publicize good governance. And the only person I'm rooting for, this is my first time I'm voting. This is the first time I'm voting in Nigeria. And that is Peter Obi.
You're going to be obedience. Well, the foreign message, let me take you to school.
Okay, sir.
Quickly. When I was at your age, I was very active.
Yes.
Both politically and just whatever. But you people, you haven't, that's a missing gap. If you spend all your energy on Twitter, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on whatever, it doesn't stop there. You need to be on ground and participate. The fact remains that we need people like you. If you know you have what it takes, you're an erudite scholar, you need to be involved. It's when you're involved, the idea you have, the mentality you have can be contagious.
When you
to
say
almost
involved, everybody don't want to play politics.
No. That is right. The fact remains that if you have great lot of you don't have to be involved in politics, but everybody's a political animal.
So that's what he's doing.
No. It's on, get it right.
It's on radio.
It's on. Listen, get it right. The fact remains in his community, right? I've said an example here before. There was this boy in which all what he was doing after his degree was to make sure that in his immediate community, it brings those who are getting ready to write school certificate. It brings them together to give them free tutorials, free lessons. Are you getting me now? To make sure that those people, it helps them in their education. Gradually, the community was beginning to that there's somebody who can give all what he has to the community.
So let him respond.
Yeah. So with time, he was promoted and encouraged to come and represent that community. Are you getting me? In leading them, that's how he got into the local government administration.
Can you respond to that?
Thank you, sir.
So you need to do more of this physically in the community, not just on the...
Thank God you mentioned this.
Electronically.
I did this for 7 years. I was born by a teacher. I taught for 7 years.
Yes.
Majorly the Jambites. There's a particular tutor center at Akpata, Harmony Coaching Center. Ask anybody in Akpata, Abe. Abe is a popular name. The short Abe, they know me very well. And I teach not less than 200 students per year.
That's good.
For 7 years.
That's good. So that's you out of many.
So when you talk about good governance, and what I'm saying particularly, I'm sorry to use this word, in my book, I categorize every politician that Nigeria has ever produced from the 1980s to this present moment. I call them educated local man.
What does that mean?
They are educated, but they are local. In the sense that...
Is it not good to be local?
No, in the sense that all they do are paperworks. All they do are paperworks. When you see their manifestos, when you see their projects, when you see their plans on paper, when the pictures is always beautiful, tell them to come and show you what they have snapped. After 10 years, nowhere to be found.
Now, what are young persons saying? What do you want?
Yes, we want...
Or what do you need?
What we need now is good governance. People with a creative mindset. People that will invest here, not outside. How do you invest? You invest in our mind. Many of us have a bad upbringing. Many of us have a bad mindset. All of us want to go there and share. When I talk to people in my area, why even this? No, someone will give us money. Anybody that does. That was what your generation taught us.
That's what no generation taught you that.
Your generation taught us that.
Listen, you take it.
With fact and figures.
Now, this generation did not teach
your
anything.
generation.
My own generation. Yes. Listen, hold it and let me tell you. No, I'm going to give you an example.
I have been holding it
like that.
You see, your generation has messed up the political system.
No, not really. It's both. Listen. It's in the two direction. It's reciprocal. Now, that's badly, if you talk of leadership, that's wrong followership. Right. And I will explain to you what do I mean by that.
But that will be
it goes together.
After this break. After this break.
No, you have allowed me to lecture you.
We'll come back.
Okay.
After this break. Thank you.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Foodco Festival of Savings is back. No be joke. Beginning from Monday 27th June, go reach Sunday 10th July. Most of your favorite items for Foodco, you go dey buy for price when you go put for pocket. Buy 11 Coca-Cola for 150 naira each, and we go summer you one bottle for free. Buy 3.5 liter Mamado oil for 5,610 naira, and we go knock you 500 ml extra oil for free. Poundo potato flakes now 1,649 naira 99 kobo. Golden Mon 800 gram now 1,499 naira 99 kobo. 1,000 ml Morning Fresh now 849 naira 99 kobo. 800 gram Milo Energy food drink now 1,999 naira 99 kobo. Owó kékeré ọjà tó pọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ Ajé Monday ọjọ́ kẹtàdínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹfà títí dọjọ́ kẹwàá oṣù keje. Foodco Festival of Savings. These ogbonge offers dey boku for all our stores for Obodo Ibadan. Offers valid while stock lasts. Terms and conditions dey o.
Every morning is an opportunity to take your hustle to the next level. Every day with a great tasting cup of Nescafe 3-in-1. Just add water and enjoy the perfect blend of coffee, creamer, and sugar with that rich, creamy taste you love. To help you start strong and make every morning count. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
I feed my mind. I light. I see the power of the future. Knowledge is light.
Reading is feeding the mind. Feed the mind. Go to udarabooks.com. Udara Books. Feeding the mind.
I feed my mind. I see the light. I see the power of the future. Knowledge is light.
Reading is feeding the mind. Feed the mind. Go to udarabooks.com. Udara Books. Feeding the mind.
I feed my mind. I see the light. I see the power of the future. Knowledge is light.
Reading is feeding the mind. Feed the mind. Go to udarabooks.com. Udara Books. Feeding the mind.
With outstanding fashion sense, the envy of many nations, Ibadan Bridal Fashion Weekend has remained consistent.
I feed my mind. I see the light. I see the power of the future. Knowledge is light. As farmers
Reading is feeding the mind.
herdsmen and their
Feed
cows
the mind.
destroy the
Go
farms.
to udarabooks.com. Udara Books. Feeding the mind.
There are herdsmen in Ijayi farm settlement.
wọ́n dá wa
wàhálà wọn ń jẹyan gan sàn-án. Tá a bá ṣe èké báyìí mọ́ ọyọ̀ bí láti á ni wọ́n ó di a.
Kò sẹ́ni tó lè mú o. Àbòròdó ń jẹyan gan mi lọ́sẹ̀ tó lọ. Àpẹẹrẹ mẹ́rin wọ́n jẹ.
As you drive into the settlement, you are welcomed by its rustiness. As our car gallops through the bad road, we see why the potentials of the farm settlement are not real. The potentials of the settlement are severely limited by poor infrastructure, crude agricultural methods, and invasion by herdsmen.
We need to go see for ourselves. So we are on the move. Come with us.
It's a journey into discovery. It's a mission to encounter herders and the farms. Now that we are the waterside, we meet a freshness that reminds us of the poor condition of the settlement.
We've been working and we're experienced in this business too. So we know what we have to do to win.
So while others are asleep, you are awake.
They're not asleep. It boils down to experience.
You take your time.
We are more experienced and we have a very good, whether I'm around or not, they know what to do. They know buttons to press.
You know how to project?
You have to project. That's what it's all about. If you won't project, then you have no reason, you have no business in politics.
So preparation.
Projection. Yes.
Taking your time to plot.
Yes.
Should I define that as Jagba?
Jagba means a lot to different people, but you can, I like that. I like that.
So Jagba means be prepared, project.
And plan. Yeah.
So Jagba can be development.
It has to be. It has to be. That's what we're trying to do. Turn it into developmental politics. It's okay saying you want power, but at the end of the day, what we want people to see is, it's been worth it.
So I can go to town and say Folani says Jagba means intelligent politics.
Please do. You have my permission.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Chief Ohu, you listen to Folani there?
Yes, the fact remains that he mentioned one thing there, preparation. There are two sets of politicians. There are political thinkers, there are political scavengers. If you are a political thinker, you get me now, you envisage and you develop scenarios and you get yourself prepared for it. The same thing I was trying to tell you now in the way we're going to run the government in 20, that we're getting prepared. Look, the difference between you getting prepared and not being prepared is the fact that Sheyi Makinde just got himself in the office without preparation. If all the synopsis we are developing now, all the process we're developing now, we're making sure Tessim Folani is in attendance with each of the intellectual sessions. So he can drive it. Yes, he is a thinker. So you can drive it and achieve it. Anybody who finds himself in position of governance, who was not involved all the time in the intellectual capacity, in the development of a process, cannot get there and deliver.
Professor Egbokhare,
and that's why you have the problem.
Before you go, you did an analysis of Peter Obi.
Yes.
I want you to come back to that analysis. You left the note on State Affairs Group.
Yes.
You said Tinubu has ideology, vision and stable mindset going for him, though he appears to have integrity issues. Obi is the unknown saint or undiscovered devil. His record of Spartan lifestyle recommends him as someone who can change the face of governance. These are not deep enough to convince one of his capacity to handle complexities associated with the Nigerian state. Break it down.
Yes, you have to ask yourself, what are the challenges of the Nigerian state today? They are basically fundamentally political. And then the symptoms of these political challenges are economic. We are talking about the problem of integration. We are talking about the problem of terrorism. These are very serious issues that will need the harnessing and garnering of capacities across political divides, across regions, and so on. So the point basically is that given the legacies, his history as an APGA governor, and then he moved on to PDP. And then when you go to the southeast, he doesn't appear to have the political structure even in the southeast to be able to move the kind of foundation to be able to say you have a platform from where you are moving. Is he going to be able to solve all these problems? I have a question mark. The other issue I want to raise is that the Labour Party itself is a special purpose vehicle for elections. And he's now moved from PDP to a special purpose vehicle where he probably have to spend a lot of money on his own. There is really no Labour Party in the rest of the country. So does he have the political structure to be able to carry out some of the radical kind of transformative issues that we need in Nigeria?
You said if Obi must win, he needs to transfer obedience to Obiski.
Yes.
What does that mean?
What I mean basically is that if you don't, he has to move to Obiski. In other words, he has to become a movement. From a movement, he has to become to have an ideological movement, to have the structures. Otherwise, we will be having an obituary.
Prof, you need to come back. Yes. I need to bring you back. Chief Owu, we can't go beyond
I'll have to come back too.
Yes.
I need to speak about my presidential candidates too.
Are you ready to come back next week?
Yes, I am ready.
Are you ready to come back next week?
I'm ready.
Okay, we are coming back next week.
We have to discuss Bola Tinubu himself.
Next week. We are coming back next week.
Good.
Chief Owu, thank you for featuring on State Affairs.
That's all right. Thank you very much.
Professor Egbokhare, thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for the book.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for the book too. You gave me a good book.
Thank you. Thank you. And
thanks for the book, sir.
Thank you.
I really appreciate.
I thank everybody for participating. My name is Edmund Obilo. Next week is another time.